They say, be honest, be transparent. Let the world see who you really are. It sounds noble. It sounds pure. It sounds like the advice of people who believe in kindness and reciprocity, in some idealized universe where truth is rewarded and vulnerability is met with compassion. But that universe does not exist, and no one warns you about the real cost of openness. Because the more people know you, the easier it becomes for them to shape you, bend you, predict you, capture you. The world doesn't treasure truth. It consumes it. It chews it. It repurposes it. Every confession you make becomes a tool in someone else's hands. Every genuine feeling becomes a lever they can pull. They nod sympathetically, pretending to understand, pretending to care. But behind their attentive expression, you can almost hear the scratching of a pen. They are taking notes, mapping you, studying the architecture of your inner world. Machiavelli never advised anyone to bare their soul to the crowd. He never preached the gospel of transparency. What he did say was simple: be wise, be calculating, be the fox who sees the trap, and the lion who terrifies the wolves. Strategy first, instinct second, mercy only when it serves a purpose. In a world where openness has become a currency, the most valuable treasure you possess is the territory others cannot enter, your inner fortress, your mental citadel, the chambers of your heart and mind where no one is allowed to trespass. The moment you share something, it stops belonging to you and becomes ammunition for someone else. But what you keep hidden becomes your power, your armor, your unbreakable spine. The 5 secrets that follow are not random pieces of advice. They're the pillars of psychological sovereignty. Lose one, and part of your defense collapses. Lose all, and the world will swallow you whole. And before we begin, engrave one simple truth into your memory. Whatever they don't know, they cannot use. Secret 1. Never reveal how far you're willing to go. People pretend to care about your boundaries, but they inquire for one reason. They want to measure you. They want to know how close they can get to your breaking point without facing consequences. They want to see where the wall around your self-respect begins to crumble. You tell someone, I would never cut a person off. They smile politely, and later drain you slowly, quietly, like a parasite that knows you won't sever the connection. You tell someone, I don't retaliate. I'm above conflict. Suddenly, you're the easiest target in the room. Your restraint turns into their playground. They act boldly, not because they're brave, but because you already told them you will not strike. You handed them a script, a guarantee of safety, a map of every soft spot you possess. Kindness is not what protects you. Unpredictability does. People fear a person they cannot read, the one who smiles calmly but leaves the consequences in the shadows, the one who listens silently while others panic, because the unknown is far more frightening than any loud threat. Predictability makes you harmless. Mystery makes you powerful. When you declare your limits, you surrender your leverage. Your boundaries, once spoken, stop protecting you and begin guiding them, step by step, right to the point where you break. Stop narrating your thresholds. Stop explaining your patience. Stop offering disclaimers like gifts. Let silence do the talking. Let uncertainty tighten the air around you. Let them wonder if crossing you is worth the risk. Real power isn't a raised voice. It's a question that lingers in their minds long after you leave the room. What would he do if pushed? Even you don't fully know the answer, and that alone makes you dangerous. Secret 2. Never reveal who influences you. People love to ask who inspires you. It sounds innocent, friendly even, but it isn't curiosity. It's reconnaissance. Influence reveals structure. Identity reveals pathways. If they know whose philosophy shapes your thinking, they can imitate it, distort it, weaponize it, or feed you versions of it that serve their interests. You share the name of someone who shaped your mind, and instantly they begin watching you with a new lens, expecting you to act like that person, using comparisons to shame you when you don't, copying your role model to predict your next move. Your individuality becomes chained to someone else's shadow. But when you guard your influences, when the voices that sharpen you remain nameless, you become unreadable, untraceable. You evolve without witnesses. You grow in directions they could never anticipate. People fear what they cannot categorize, and a mind with no visible sources becomes a force they cannot map. Learn from everyone. Reveal nothing. Let your results speak, and your inspirations remain ghosts. Secret 3. Never reveal your daily habits. Habits form rhythm, and rhythm forms patterns, and patterns can be intercepted, hacked, exploited. Your routine is not just structure, it's a schedule of your vulnerability. You post about your morning run? Now they know exactly where you'll be and when your mind is most relaxed. You always answer messages late at night? Now they know when you're most tired, and thus most manipulable. The discipline you proudly display becomes a predictable route others can use to ambush you. Consistency exposed is not strength. It's static, it's mechanical, and machines can be hacked. Power is not in being consistent, but in being consistent without being predictable. Wake early today, late tomorrow, train in silence, disappear for hours without explanation, surface unexpectedly, move like electricity, constant but impossible to forecast. Let them try to track you. Let them fail. Because when no one knows your rhythm, you become atmospheric, everywhere and nowhere at once. A threat without a pattern, a mind without a trace. Secret 4. Never reveal what you've forgiven. Forgiveness is beautiful in theory, but in practice, it is perceived as weakness. Not because forgiveness itself is weak, but because once others know what you let slide, they use it as a measuring tool. You forgive a lie, they note it. You forgive a betrayal, they calculate the cost. You forgive disrespect, they sharpen their next attempt. People don't repeat offenses because they didn't understand. They repeat them because you taught them they could. But when you forgive silently, when you offer no confirmation, no explanation, no emotional closure, you create a tension that unnerves even the boldest. Did he really forgive me? Or is he just waiting? Uncertainty is a weapon more effective than anger. Anger is loud, predictable, easily dismissed. Uncertainty sits beside them at night and whispers. Forgive internally. Strategize externally. Never reveal the moment you let go, because once they think you've moved on, they move closer. But if they don't know, if the question remains suspended in the air, they keep their distance. Silence is pressure. Uncertainty is control. A quiet man who forgives without announcing it becomes a storm that can arrive at any moment. Secret 5. Never reveal what you're still healing from. Your wounds are sacred. They are not stories to be handed out freely. Pain is not weakness, but revealing it gives others the map to your softest places. Tell someone you fear abandonment, and they will test it. Tell someone you struggle with trust, and they will perform loyalty until the moment breaking it hurts most. Tell someone you carry old wounds, and they will watch your reactions like a scientist observing a specimen. Pain exposed becomes strategy for others. Pain hidden becomes strength for you. When no one knows where your cracks are, they assume you don't have any. They tread carefully, not out of respect, but out of fear of miscalculating. Healing is not performance. It is war. Quiet, internal, sacred war. Rebuild in silence. Return without announcement. Walk into the world as if nothing ever pierced you, not because you denied the wound, but because you mastered it. Let them wonder how you became this calm, this centered, this unshakable. Let them search for the scars they will never find. Final truth. We live in a world addicted to noise. People spill their secrets online, confess their fears, expose their traumas, reveal their strategies, believing visibility equals strength. But the more they reveal, the easier it becomes to dismantle them. Every emotional post is a blueprint. Every confession is a breach in the wall. And while they chase validation, you build power in silence. You are not unreadable because you are lost. You are unreadable because you are in control. Every unanswered question about you becomes a wall they cannot climb. They cannot predict you. They cannot prepare for you. They cannot control what they cannot comprehend. Machiavelli knew this. Power is not in displaying strength, but in making others guess where that strength resides. You have become exactly that. A presence felt but not explained, a calm that hides a storm, a smile that leaves people wondering, a silence that presses on their mind without shape or name. They will try to understand you and fail. Their failure becomes your advantage. Their uncertainty becomes your armor. If this message stirred something awake in you, good. Move differently now. Move like a shadow. Move like a force no one expects but everyone senses. You're not chasing influence anymore. You've become untouchable and unstoppable.